Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last episode before the regular season of the Ball Oasis show. If you're seeing this, the regular season's probably started by now as we're recording this about 30 minutes before opening tip-off between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's time. We made it. We made it through the off season. It was a long seeming off season. I guess for me in particular, just because of all the Dame stuff going around. Jacob, what would you before we get into what we're going to get into today? Rate the off season 1 to 10. How do you think the off season went uh, as a whole?
I'll say about a 7 or 8 because a lot of stuff happened, a lot of rumors and everything, trade talks, whatever. And then there's just that one dry patch for like 3 4 weeks. It was like nothing. That was like the only thing. So I'll give it about an 8.
Yeah, usually something like that happens, but the Dame trade makes up for it, and we see all the kind of trail out with
Yeah,
that afterwards. Makes up for it in a pretty big way. I would rate it around an 8 as well. I think it's pretty good. Summer League was as entertaining as it's ever been, so that
yeah.
definitely um, boosts the score for me a little bit. The draft was good. I
And
think it's pretty entertaining outside of free agency. Free agency was really the only thing that kind of knocked it down.
we had some FIBA if you want to count that.
True. Yeah, I forgot all about FIBA too. FIBA was pretty entertaining as well. So I would give it an 8. I think it was a good off season. But it is over, and we are on to the regular season. So today, this is not going to be a longer episode. This will probably be just about a 30-minute episode or so. We're gonna throw out some hot takes. We're gonna throw some hot takes out into the atmosphere like we did before last season, just to kind of get the community buzzing a little bit. Our small as our community is, get the community buzzing. I've got four. Jacob's got four. Yeah, let's just go ahead and let's jump right into them. Jacob, you want to go first? You want me to give the first hot take?
I can give the first one.
All right, let's hear it.
I You can say it's a hot take. The Cleveland Cavaliers make the 1 seed or get the 1 seed in the East. I mean, we rated it from hot to cold like we did last time.
We can, yeah. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot if you ask me.
I'll give it a 8, yeah. Because I mean, we know who the top two should be.
Right.
Boston, Milwaukee, barring if they're healthy. So unless Cleveland is just really built for the regular season and they get hot at the perfect times, I don't see it. I wouldn't be surprised, but it's more likely not than it is.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hot. I think this is a pretty hot take. Just because not even more so Milwaukee, but Boston. I think Boston is going to win a lot of regular season games, and there are some moving pieces still with the Cavs. Obviously, they bring back their core, but they're bringing in Max Strus, who's likely to be a starter. Um, who knows if Amani Bates
Hey,
cracks the rotation?
brought in George Niang, most winning
George
player in
Niang,
2020.
right? George Niang. That's who I was failing to come to my mind.
Most winning player in
But also,
2020.
also JB Bickerstaff is their coach.
Yeah,
As many good things as I think about the Cavs, JB Bickerstaff gets kind of lost in all of that. I don't think about him very often whenever I think about the Cavs. But regular season wise, they'll be a top four seed in my opinion. But I don't think they'll be the 1 seed. I don't think that there's really a chance of that happening.
I'd love to see it just for it ain't obvious. Somebody calls it early December and it doesn't happen. That's
Yeah.
always great.
The only parallel that I can kind of draw with this one is that I at least I do this. I compare the Cavs in the East to the Grizzlies in the West. I think that they
Yeah,
are a lot like each other in opposite conferences. And we've seen the last couple seasons the Grizzlies be a top 2 seed in the Western Conference. So going off that logic, the Cavs could very
good.
well do it.
Yeah,
So going off that logic, I think it's possible in the regular season maybe, but I'm still going to lean towards no.
yeah.
Uh, Kind of segueing into my first take with the Memphis Grizzlies. I've got the Memphis Grizzlies here. My first take. The Memphis Grizzlies missed the playoffs completely without Steven Adams, without Brandon Clark for the first 2 months of the season, most likely, and without 25 games of John Morant. So, I, so obviously, 2 weeks ago on this channel, I had the Memphis Grizzlies as my number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Some things have happened since then. And I can no longer say that they'll be the 1 seed. Steven Adams, although statistically he doesn't show up a whole lot, Steven Adams elevates that team defensively, rebounding wise, and with the screens that he sets, he stays out of foul trouble. He does so much for that team that goes unnoticed that they are really going to miss him. Xavier Tillman stepped in last year and was solid in his minutes. I can't really fault him for anything that kind of happened against him, whether it be in the playoffs against Anthony Davis. Seeing as he's like a second or third year player who was like a second round draft pick. So
yeah,
Xavier Tillman is going to be asked to do a lot. And in an 82 game slate, I don't think it's realistic that the Grizzlies are still a 1 seed team. With that being the case, with Ja Morant being out as well, don't know who they're going to start at that 5th wing spot as well. It could be Zaire Williams, could be Santi Aldama. Santi Aldama's tomorrow night, so it'll have to be Zaire Williams or David Roddy, I guess. Or maybe if they want to start like Luke Kennard. But, yeah, I don't think the Grizzlies are going to be the 1 seed anymore. I say all that to say. Missing the playoffs, though, is a little extreme. I think it's still a little extreme. I think that they can be between a 5 and an 8 seed still. I think that the play-in for the Grizzlies would be kind of dangerous territory. I don't like them in a play-in matchup necessarily, but I still think that they find a way to make the playoffs. But I think they will be a lower-tier seed playoff team.
Yeah, I think it is hot. I think I had them around 6 or 7 in the standings. With the West being so close, I mean, somebody has to fall out. Somebody's going to be that 11 seed, the odd team out. And like you said, with Ja being out 25 games, Steven Adams out the whole year. In the West, I think every win is going to count. So if they go on a 3-game losing streak, it could drop them in the standings wherever they're at, anything like that. But yeah, like you said, even with Ja, Bane, Marcus Smart, Jaren, I don't see them falling out the play-in or even far in the play-in. So yeah, I think that's hot. Like you said, wouldn't want to see them in the play-in. I don't know if they'd be able to make the playoffs, but I'll give it about an 8. I can't see it happening.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. I'll give that like a 7. The Grizzlies are too well coached. Also, they're too well coached, so they'll be a solid team regardless. But I don't think that, of course, they won't be as good of a defensive team. We might see them in the bottom half of the league defensively this season, which is kind of uncharted territory for them.
Even with Jaren and Marcus,
I think it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't see it
because outside of those two, what do they offer defensively?
Yeah, and I also think rebounding counts in it too, defensively. So.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Let me get my second one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Amen Thompson wins Rookie of the Year and leads the Rockets to a play-in spot.
Play-in spot, you said?
Yeah. Like, I guess
I think I know who gave you this take, by the way.
So, no, it wasn't. We talked about it, but no, it wasn't him. That's a 10.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a 10 also.
It's a 10. Amen, like you said, you'd like to see somebody that's not the favorite get it, but it's out of everybody above him, I don't think he could win Rookie of the Year. Now, if you even want to split it up as just the Rookie of the Year and then the play-in part, the play-in.
I was going to say, I think the play-in is obviously a lot more likely to happen. But I don't think either is very likely at all.
Yeah, I would say the play-in, I'm more convinced they could. Like we said, if somebody gets hurt on the team, anything can happen. Like I said, it's just going to come down to streaks, who gets hot at the right time of the year, right time of the season. And who knows, he might be really good. So they're helping be really good. But yeah, I think if we split it up, the Rookie of the Year, that's a 10, but the play-in, I'll give about a 6 or 7.
If Amen Thompson's the Rookie of the Year, I'm just going to say, like, he is going to be on track to be one of the best players of all time with everything that he can do. Because assuming he wins Rookie of the Year over Victor and Chet and Scoot, his numbers are going to be like really 17, 18 points, probably like 7, 8 rebounds, and like 7 assists also. Right. So, and I would think on good efficiency too to win it over those guys. So, imagine that. Imagine the field of people that he would be in.
We've seen
unrealistic in my opinion.
Yeah.
You got to think about the surrounding pieces too that are around him. You've got all the new players, and you've got Jalen Green and Jabari Smith, who are were inefficient last season. Obviously, it's a new season, so they have a chance to kind of redeem themselves on that front. But I just don't think the surrounding pieces kind of help Amin's case for the year.
Yeah.
Even because I think he will have a solid season. I think he will have a solid rookie season. But Rookie of the Year, I don't think is an attainable goal for him.
Yeah, like the second part, the play-in, them being a play-in is a lot more realistic than the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And I could be convinced.
That's not an afterthought. That's not an afterthought to me. Yeah. Them making the play-in is not an afterthought.
No, because, brought in guys, so. But yeah, the Rookie of the Year part, that's up there.
Yeah.
I have another one. We'll see which one's hotter in your opinion. It's probably that one.
Okay. Segueing into another rookie, Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama has, of course, made a lot of noise in the preseason. So this one says Victor Wembanyama has an all-NBA caliber season as a rookie. All-NBA caliber. Not even just all-star, all-NBA caliber. I don't think it's crazy to say Victor Wembanyama could be an all-star. I don't think it's crazy. Based off what we've seen, if he stays on the floor enough, obviously for him to reach All-NBA, he has to play certain threshold games. He has to play 65 games. I don't think that's likely. I've voiced that on this channel.
Unless he's really good. But.
Yeah. Production, I'm interested to see what his consistent production will look like too, because I don't really have a gauge on what I think it will be. I think that he could be a guy that averages kind of like low 20s scoring, averages like in between 21 and like 24 points.
Yeah.
I think he could be between like 8 and 10 rebounds. And I think he'll average like around 2 blocks or something like that, and probably a steal. That could get you an all-star look. That could get you an all-star look, especially with the media behind him as well. He's going to have a lot of support from the media. So all-star is not crazy. I think All-NBA is a stretch, though. I think All-NBA is a little too far of a stretch.
Like you said, he'd have to play 65 games, and a lot of players would have to not play 65 games. So the All-Star, yeah. Paolo was in the conversation last year. I know different conference, I would say different position, but close.
I also don't think if he was going to do that, I don't think the Spurs could be like at the bottom of the Western Conference. I think they'd have to be at least like right outside the play-in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hot. I give it a 9.
Yeah, I would agree. I give it a 9.
Yeah.
My third team, or my third take. This is let's see which one's hotter. This one or the Houston one. The Denver Nuggets get put out in the first round. So I know it's hard to say because we don't know the matchup.
Right. I'm thinking about my standings.
Where did I have them? I forgot where I had them.
I have Denver as my 2, and going into the season, I have Sacramento as my 7. So Denver would be going up against Sacramento. Sacramento, or my 8 was Minnesota? The Clippers.
Yeah.
It would have to be a team like the Clippers or the Warriors. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It would have to be, because I couldn't see the Kings, not the Grizzlies, not the Timberwolves, not the Thunder, not the Pelicans. It would have to be like a Clippers or a Warriors or like a Lakers if they fell that far.
Yeah, my 7 and 8 is Memphis and the Clippers. So
And I think if the Clippers are down there, then there are going to be like some things that led them to being that far down there. So obviously, I would still lean Denver regardless.
Yeah.
In any matchup, like going into this, as of right now, I think Denver has the best chance to win the finals again. Honestly, I think they're the best team. I think Milwaukee is very close. I think Boston is very close. But in the Western Conference, in a first round matchup, I don't think anybody's touching Denver.
Yeah, and that's like they'd have to fall. Like if it was a 3-6 or 4-5, but still, I'd take Denver more than likely. Like I said, unless it's like the Warriors, and if it's the Warriors, I don't know, that's different. But yeah, I think they're the clear favorite. Clear favorite for now coming out the West. Yeah,
They're my favorites to come out of the West.
I think they're my favorite right now, but it's not that much of a gap.
Yeah, I think that's 9. I think it's another 9 on the hotness scale.
I'll give it 8 or 9. Yeah, it's just matchup based.
Yeah. Talking about the Clippers, these are like perfectly segued into mine so far. The Los Angeles Clippers have missed their championship window. Their championship window has closed. Let's break this down. Let's break this one down. So when we talk about Western Conference teams this year, obviously you have Denver at the top. You have Phoenix, you have the Lakers, and past that, you've kind of got all of these second-tier teams.
Yeah.
The Clippers are a part of that. The Clippers are a part of that right now. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I think we would all agree as of right now. What do I say? The window is closed.
I will.
I don't know. As long as you have a healthy Kawhi and Paul George, which
that's totally
on the channel.
That's totally different.
Has been a total, shot in the dark over the past few years. But obviously, if those two are playing at their peak highest level, they can compete with anybody.
Yeah.
They can compete with anybody.
And
the makeup of their team, they're a deep team. They're a deep team. I like their depth. Obviously, if they get James Harden,
yeah, I was gonna bring that up because it's gonna happen sooner or later. And if all they're giving up is Terrence Mann, who's hurt right now, he has an ankle sprain.
Did you read the comments under that injury?
No.
Saying, oh no, he's already gone. Already gone.
I was like, yeah, something suspicious. Yeah, if they get Harden, like you said, PG and Kawhi has to be healthy. Because from what we saw last year, Harden can win you a game in the playoffs. That's about it. So this is the last year because I don't see the Clippers re-signing them to max contracts.
I don't think so. At their age, at their current age now.
The age and what has it been, 4 years?
Yeah. The thing about the Clippers, though, is the Clippers will have money. The Clippers always have money.
It's just you want to commit to it again okay, let's say this. Don't want it to happen. Really hope it doesn't happen. If one of them gets hurt in the playoffs.
Right.
I don't think they're not going to do max contracts. Now, if they have a deep run, maybe, but I think this is the last year.
Yeah, I don't think the window has closed all the way, but I do think that 2020 team was the best chance they had. Yeah. I think that was the best team they've had. I think that was the best chance. Kawhi and PG were both healthy. They had Montrez and Lou Williams as the top 2 bench players in the league coming off their bench, and they couldn't get it done. They had a 3-1 lead on the Nuggets, and they blew it.
Doc Rivers was the coach, wasn't he?
Yep.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think it's this year because if it doesn't work out, like if it's a second round exit, first round exit, you're gonna bring Kawhi, PG, and James Harden back. So all of them gonna want a lot of money. So I don't know. I'll say this is the last year.
Yeah, it'd be hard to do. I give that one a 3 or a 4. I don't think that's hot. I don't think that's hot at all. I think that's very realistic. But I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah, I'll give it 5.
Holding out some hope for the Clippers.
I'll give it 5 because if they're healthy, we've seen what Kawhi was great those 2 games he was healthy last year. So I'll give it 5.
I will say too. 2014, Kawhi won the finals. 2019, Kawhi won the finals. 2024, all 5 years apart from each other. This is the year Kawhi wins the finals.
We'll see. So, my last one. The Minnesota Timberwolves end up as a top 4 seed.
I can't go. I can't do it. No.
I can.
I can't do it.
Because I believe it was either, who was it, JJ? I think it was JJ Redick on his podcast. In the Denver series, they played Rudy and Cat. Yeah, Rudy and Cat played a combined 120 minutes, I think, total minutes. Yeah. So, in regular season, they played one. I don't know.
Cat only played 29 games.
So that's a 10 for you? Yeah, that's a 10 for you?
I don't think it's a 10. I can't say it's 10 because I think there's a chance they make the playoffs. I think that, I mean, they made the playoffs last year. I have them as my 9 seed, but I can very well see them making the playoffs, obviously. But
4 seed? So
this is also regular season too, but man, they've shown me nothing to prove that they can do it.
So that's Denver, Phoenix. This is just top 4 teams, not our standings. Denver, Phoenix, Lakers.
And like, I had Dallas at 3. I guess I got to stand on that. But
that's what I'm saying.
I don't feel great about it.
4 is not. No. You can't convince me. 4 is not that bad. Like I said earlier, every win's gonna count. Every win's gonna count. So I'll give it a 5 or a 6. I don't think it's that high.
I got to go an 8 or a 9. I won't believe it until I see it. It's like the Clippers one for me. I won't believe it until I see it. You have to prove it.
Well, they start off with Mike Conley instead of D'Lo. Well, I know
upgrade. Like Mike Conley's a good
fit wise. I think it is.
Okay, I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm sure to get brought up in a few weeks or a month or two. So,
what's their bench look like though? They've got Kyle Anderson. They've got Shake Milton now. They've got Jordan McLaughlin. They've got Naz Reid. That's not a bad bench. It's not bad.
If it happens, whenever you get back for Cat, I guess you can start Rudy. Not Rudy. But yeah, Rudy. But you can start Naz Reid. Maybe Kyle.
I would like that.
And whenever you get back for Cat. So if it happens, if a trade happens.
I'm telling you, go get DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, and Onyeka Okongwu. I just butchered that name. And Onyeka Okongwu. If you can go get that,
if they can do that,
I feel a lot better about this team.
They can do that. I've been saying Cat in Atlanta.
Let me ask this: is it crazy for me to say that Naz Reid isn't a big downgrade from Cat at this current point in their offense?
No. I'm big. I'm high on Naz Reid. I really like Naz Reid, and the Jaden contract. I believe we talked about it.
Good value.
Not on here. We talked about it. Good value, and that kind of sets up for Cat to be out. Because Rudy getting paid a lot. Naz, good deal. Ant got a rookie max.
I mean, A-Rod's willing to go into the luxury tax, but going into the luxury tax for, at best, we're saying 4 seed team.
I'll break it down like this. Let's say Atlanta's top 4, top 5. Okay. They just want to make the move. Go get Cat. Send Onyeka, which I don't think will happen. AJ, whatever. Then ship Capella to Mavericks, to Dallas for role players, whatever. That trade, I think, is very possible. But like we said, Minnesota had to be struggling or it's not working. Atlanta would have to be really high up, and Dallas would really want center help. which they do now. But we'll have to see how. I think Derek Lively's starting. We'll have to see how Derek Lively plays.
That's very conditional.
Very.
You were kind of starting to sell me on the Timberwolves a little bit. Then I remembered that Chris Finch was their coach also. So
I know I had him last year. But I've seen a lot of people say he's a good coach, but I didn't watch him enough last year or keep up.
The thing is, he's not a terrible coach. He's just not a good one.
The playoffs from 2 years ago against Memphis, that really
like the worst coach series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that does a lot of it. I agree, but they don't have a bad team. If it's top 4, I don't think
I'm still giving this an 8 or a 9.
I'll do 5 or 6. I don't think it's impossible, especially if there's injuries like there were last year. It's not impossible.
I can't go. I'm not going to put it out as a realm of possibility, though.
I know I had him low too, but what's the highest you can put him?
Probably 6.
Okay.
That's the highest that I could see them this season.
Okay. I can agree with that. Around that range. Highest I go is 4, but 6.
The lowest I go is 10. Maybe 11.
Where did I have him? I think I had him at 9. Or did I have him at 10?
You had them lower than I did.
Yeah, I think I had him 10. Yeah, 10's lowest I'll go. I know I'm high on them. Just going through the teams, it's just, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's your next one?
My last one. The Miami Heat are no longer the biggest threat to the Celtics and the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. This kind of ties in with your Cavs one. I thought about the Cavs. I thought about the Knicks. I mean, obviously the Sixers are still formidable. The Hawks. I'm high on the Hawks this year.
I'm buying into them.
I am too.
Well, the game I watched
I think there were a lot of reasons why they weren't good, and a lot of it was that players didn't play up to their standard of play.
Yeah. I've watched some of the preseason. I watched, of course, the Philly game last week. There's some some positives, some negatives, but I think it'll be a lot better than last year. Not a lot better, but it wouldn't be nearly as much turmoil or
like you said. They were still the 7th seed despite all of it.
Like you said, I think more guys will play up to the standard this year.
Yeah, I agree. With that being said, though, do you think that any of those Eastern Conference teams are a bigger threat than the Miami Heat, who didn't really get better in the offseason, probably got worse on paper?
Did they get worse?
I'm asking you this.
Did they get worse?
You're a fan of a team in that realm.
Did they get worse?
On paper, yes, they did.
They didn't have Tyler Hero the whole playoff run. You lost.
You lost Vincent. You lose Strus.
I think that's it. Main guys. But you bring Tyler back.
Do you think that those cancel each other out? Think about how good Vincent and Strus were in the playoffs. Talking about missing Tyler.
They were good until I think after the Boston series, the finals, they wasn't that good.
Nobody really played great in the finals for them.
Yeah.
Bam and Jimmy a little bit.
Right. They brought in Jay Rich. I don't know. It's a Miami Heat thing. They're going to find 2 guys deep on the bench that will contribute somehow.
Jamal Cain season.
Yeah.
Orlando Robinson.
R.J. Hampton.
R.J. Hampton would be crazy.
I think they have a better chance than New York. New York had a great offense last year. I don't know if it's going to be the same.
Okay.
Tibbs teams do that. Cleveland flamed out first round, a little bit more experience, a little bit more wing help. If it's just Boston and Milwaukee, not even against Miami, I think I'd still take Miami over Cleveland. It's tough, though.
I mean, we're notorious Miami doubters on this channel. They prove us wrong every time.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not counting them out anymore until they're out.
I'm just playing devil's advocate by taking on the
Yeah,
role right away.
yeah. Philly, it really depends. Whole new roster, not a whole new roster, whole new bench. A lot of questions there. I still think it's Miami. The
I don't,
only
I don't think you're crazy by saying that. I don't
the
think
only
so.
thing is Philly matches up better with Milwaukee than Boston. And if they play one of them, Philly plays one of them, and Joel comes in healthy, not hurt like he is every year. Big if. It's not crazy that Philly could win a series, 7-game series. But I still think, just from what we've seen in Miami, what, 3 ECS, 2 finals the last 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
It's not crazy.
Yeah. I'm trying to rationalize. I'm surprised you didn't rationalize the Sixers being better than the Heat harder, honestly.
It really depends. Like, even without Harden, I've talked to you about it. New coach, Maxey Milton's good together. It's Joel's health and what I guess the leap that Tyrese takes playmaking wise.
I think the Cavs are also a wild card in this as well.
Yeah, the Cavs are probably the most wild card team. Besides, I'll say maybe even over Philly. I don't know.
So you still had Philly over them in the standings. I had Cleveland over Philly in the standings.
Yeah, I will. I think at the time I did think Harden would play, which I don't think he will now. But like I said, the preseason games I've seen, they could still be really good.
Okay.
Well, yeah, to the original take, it's not. It's not a hot take. Not that hot of a take, I don't think.
I don't think it's crazy hot either. I think a lot of these we're seeing a common theme here. Until proven otherwise, we're gonna stick with what we know.
Yeah,
we know Miami with their current core, they get it done in the postseason, regardless of who they have on the floor.
I think watching basketball the last few years, you don't doubt Spo or Jimmy in the playoffs.
Yeah,
no matter what.
I've learned that lesson by now.
So yeah.
With that being said, I still have them as my 8th seed in the regular season.
Yeah, I wrote that down. Let's make sure I wrote it down.
That's not crazy in my opinion.
I think
last year.
I think I'm in 5 or 6. They shot horrible last year, their whole regular season, and it flipped in the playoffs.
They could very well do the exact same thing again.
Yeah, I know.
Outside of that, though, those are the hot takes going into the season. We are right at tip-off of this Nuggets-Lakers game.
Yep.
Excited to get back to ball. My team plays tomorrow. Jacob's team plays on Thursday.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah, Sunday we meet up. Sunday we meet up and play against each other. Early matchup this season. Y'all probably beat us by about 20, 25, honestly.
It's a back-to-back for us, but yeah, should.
Yeah.
Should. Who you got tonight?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. I'm gonna roll with the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets get it done at home against the Lakers. Ring ceremony night, and I just think the Nuggets are better than the Lakers as well. Although
you have the game on.
LeBron and AD have a history of playing really good on opening night.
AD, so, I got it on. AD just blocked Jokic.
Oh, it's already started?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
3 minutes in. I don't know. The AD DPOY stays healthy might happen. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm going to roll with the Nuggets, though. And in the second game, I know Bradley Beal's out, and I know Devin Booker's a game-time decision. I'll roll. I know I said Warriors to you earlier. I'm gonna stick with the Warriors. I'll roll Warriors.
I'm going to go Lakers, Warriors.
Nuggets, Warriors for me. Fun opening night slate before the big slate tomorrow. Back regular season content going forward. Should be a lot of fun. It's game time. Time to watch games. Jacob, before we leave today, you got anything else to add?
That's it.
That's it. Y'all go watch ball.
See ya.
See y'all in about a week. Peace out.